So to start off to making a bottle to catch the flies, you would get like a plastic bottle, however size you want. This is a regular 16-ounce water bottle, but you can use like a pop bottle or anything that's plastic, and it'll be easy to cut into. So the tools that I'm going to be using is going to be like a scissors and maybe a knife. Depends on how thick your plastic bottle is, but sometimes I might use a knife to cut that part where to make this fly catcher thing. But and also some adhesive stickers. These are just kind of random stickers, tape or whatever you want to call it. But you can use like Scotch tape or painter's tape, any kind of tape. I will show you the different steps. It doesn't have to be pretty for the tape, since you're going to be throwing away after it catches all the flies and everything. So let's start off with cutting off the top. And usually you want to kind of get it around this part, or you can find a certain line. But like for this bottle, you'll kind of figure it out for each kind of plastic bottle you would have. But I would probably cut it like for this bottle right here. So let me see if I can do it by recording it, or let me put down my phone and see if we can show you, the steps and stuff like that. Let's try to get the situation. Now I had to put down the phone because it was a little bit hard to hold the bottle and the phone and the knife and everything, because I don't want to cut myself. But one of the other suggestion is to keep the lid on the plastic bottle, so that there's air at least, so it doesn't collapse on you when you're trying to press in a knife. So you gotta be very careful, and if you're like a kid or something like that, you should have your parents help you do this, because having a knife, if you're gonna use a knife, or you can use the scissors, you just gotta be very careful when you're cutting it, because sometimes the plastic can be really tough, or it can be pretty soft, so you gotta be really careful. So once I started the knife right here, you can actually, let's see if I can cut it with the camera facing it, but you want to go around the diameter of the bottle and kind of go across it. If it doesn't work, you can probably put in the scissors, and it's a little bit easier with the scissors and better control. But you can see right here on a softer plastic, you can pretty much like go around with the scissors. And let's see if I can get it to cut and get the camera to show you what I'm doing. So it's pretty easy. Let's see if I can back up the camera a little bit. And then with scissors, it's actually easier than the knife, since you have better control of it. As you can see, I'm going around the circumference of the bottle. And since this is a water bottle, usually the bottles are pretty soft. So once you get that part off, you can see how the lid is, and then the bottom part of the bottle is. And then the next step is actually, you have to take off the lid so that the flies will go in. But let me get that situated and show you the next part. Okay, like I said, the next step is actually putting the lid, after it was sitting like this on a normal bottle, you flip it over and try to, press it in as close as you can to the edge without it dropping in. And as you can kind of see how it looks like. So you're basically flipping the top into the bottle. And then with some adhesive tape or whatever you have around the house, you can just like try to tape the top lid to the bottom of the bottle however you want. It doesn't have to be pretty. Like I said, you're eventually going to throw this away after you catch all the flies and everything. So you can go around, you can wrap the whole thing if you want. I just kind of put tape just so it doesn't fall in when you're doing this stuff. And so you just kind of put all the stuff, the tape around and stuff like that. And actually while I'm doing this, I just kind of remember that if you want to, this step, you can actually do all this right now, and then later on put in like random stuff in the bottom of this. Or you can not tape it yet and fill it up with like juice or something old, like soda, anything that's sweet. Think about stuff that flies like to eat. Some people I've seen online said like putting in like meats. It's gonna be really stinky and stuff like that. So anything that's kind of stinky will attract flies, but like then you will have a really stinky bottle. So I usually just put in like sweet stuff, like even like ketchup packets that you don't like or are old or something, candy, any kind of stuff that you just feel like it's random and you just don't want to eat it anymore. Usually I just do sugary stuff like old soda that's probably been sitting around. So you know, you can drop it in through the hole if most of the items are small, or if you haven't taped it yet, you can fill it up. So I kind of taped part of it, but I just kind of stopped and thought about it that I might want to put some random stuff in here before taping it. So like I said, anything sweet, you still, if you put any like candy and stuff like that, hard stuff on the bottom, if it's heavy enough, it's good that it won't move around. And you can probably add rocks if you want. So it's almost like you just add almost like trashy stuff, whatever. You should have some liquid at least in the bottle so that when the flies fly in there, it actually gets, they kind of sink in there, or they kind of drown themselves and they can't really go anywhere. And the funny thing is, the reason why like you flip the top in there, once they fly in through that hole, they it's clear and stuff, so they try to fly back out, but they get caught right here in this curve and they don't know how to fly straight back out. This is the interesting thing about this fly catcher. And I'll show you some videos later of like these bottles that I've made before, and the you know, the effectiveness of catching these flies with random stuff. So you just kind of do it over time and you figure out what works and what doesn't. So I just wanted to show you how to set up the bottle itself, and then you just put anything random in the bottle to attract flies. So here's the bottle where I added like rotting apples that I found in the backyard. And usually like rotting fruit is another kind of good thing where flies will be attracted to. And then I just poured in some like rainwater that was just standing around to add some liquid, like I said, so that they kind of drown. And later on, when you put it outside in the sun, it would evaporate. So you might want to add some more water or some kind of sugary fluid if you want to. But I just want to add some, and then not too much, so that, you know, the fruit can kind of stick out and create a smell where the flies will be attracted to. And another thing I was going to say, the top of the lid, you don't want to cut too far down, because you want to have this kind of gap so that all these flies would fly in there and kind of be caught. If you cut it too far down, then you're gonna have a really short bottle. So I've never tried like a really big bottle, but it could be an option if you want to catch a whole bunch of flies, if you're having an issue with that. But having these small bottles, it's easy to kind of like have them around and place them and get all the flies and stuff. And another thing that I want to tell you, you don't want to leave the bottle out for too long. Once you catch like so many flies, like maybe a day or two, you want to throw it away, because I had an issue one time where there was like a bunch of worms just kind of crawling, maggots actually. So maggots would just start coming out of the bottle, because they know how to crawl through that. They'll just grow everywhere. So you want to throw it away as soon as you feel like catching enough flies, and then just make another bottle. It's not too hard. You guys have a lot of plastic bottles laying around, but this is a quick kind of cheap way of trying to catch flies if you are have flies all around. But I just wanted to show you how it looks like with some stuff. And then later there'll be some videos of like in action, different bottles I've had before. So I just wanted to show you the initial way of setting up this kind of fly trap bottle. I don't know how you want to say it. If you guys have any comments of what I should name it, it's just very simple. I just wanted to show you a cheap, effective way of how to catch flies with things that you have around your house. So here's an example of leaving my fly trap bottle out next to the trash can for about a day. And coming closer look, you can see a lot of those black things are actually dead flies trapped inside. So this thing has been pretty effective for about a day. You know, a lot of them are still kind of trying to get out, but they can't get out because of the inverted top of the bottle. You got some on the outside thinking about going in. So that's a lot of flies stuck in there. Some are not even moving. So it can be pretty effective depending on what you put as bait inside the bottle. But this is one of the examples of finding a bottle full of dead flies, which proves that this method works pretty well and it's pretty cheap.